Pennsylvania Congressman John Murtha has never been shy about using his clout to deliver on projects. And as the ranking Democrat on the subcommittee that approves Pentagon spending, he has helped dozens of companies get billions of dollars in contracts. This morning, one of those contracts is raising a few eyebrows. The Washington Post reports Murtha's nephew got $4 million. Joining me now is the reporter who broke the story, Carol Lenig. Carol, what did you find out about all this?
Well, what we found is that over the last several years, John Murtha's nephew has been operating a business in Glen Burnie, a very quiet, sleepy-looking business that does warehousing and engineering support for various military contracts. It's been the primary contractor, like the lead contractor, on about $3.5 million in contracts in those years. And last year it did $4 million in business that was as a subcontractor and as a primary contractor. What's interesting is that the nephew really doesn't want to discuss the details of what he does, and he said it's a Homeland Security matter. What he works on is preventing or preparing Americans for a terrorist attack and detecting warfare. But we're not really learning too much about what he does.
We contacted Congressman Murtha's office last night and today looking for a statement. Didn't really get a statement, but the strong suggestion coming back from his spokesperson is that they don't know about this company. They've got no connection to it. They're not trying to get any money for this particular company. It's the Pentagon that deals with these appropriations contracts and these services. I mean, what did you find out about that?
Well, the reason we were interested in this company was, there was very little activity there, almost no staff. One day when I visited, I was told everybody was gone. It just seemed odd. The other thing that is interesting about it is, and important, is that one of Congressman Murtha's closest friends is under federal investigation for possibly illegal campaign contributions to Murtha and other lawmakers. It's a lobbying firm. The person runs a lobbying firm called PMA Group. And this lobbying firm has represented many defense contractors, and one of those clients hired Murtha to do some work. So we're just intrigued by the fact that one of the most powerful people responsible, sort of the last pen on the Defense Department's budget, also happens to have a nephew whose livelihood revolves around the Defense Department budget.
You said that you talked to Robert Murtha Jr., that he was very circumspect about describing what his company does. Did you ask him whether or not his uncle had any influence in him getting that contract?
Absolutely.
And what did he say?
And he said no. He said it would be really unfortunate if anyone presumed that he didn't get the job based on his merits. He says he doesn't advertise being the congressman's nephew. Right. Of course, his company is called Murtha. So there are many people who say, who in the Pentagon doesn't know who this company is?
And what did the Pentagon say to you?
The Pentagon said that Congressman Murtha has never contacted them about Murtha, and that they make their decisions based on the federal regulations for procuring a contract. But one thing that's interesting, John, is that in none of the contracts that we scrutinized of Murtha's, in none of them was there any other bidder but Murtha. One of them, competition was prohibited, and in all the others there was only one bidder, Murtha. That's also sort of a red flag for people about whether or not the taxpayer is getting their value.
All right, interesting story, and I'm sure one that we're going to hear more about as the day unfolds. Carol Lenig from the Washington Post, thanks for running in and talking to us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you, John.